Hello, pizza enthusiasts. Welcome to another wild and crazy episode of the Pizza Whisperer. This one's so wild and crazy, we're not even making pizza. We're going to make cinnamon rolls today. I used to try and make these with pizza dough at Da Vinci's Pizza in Kirkland back in the 90s, and it wasn't too shabby. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I went and found a recipe for Cinnabon frosting, so let's put it all together. Alrighty then. So we got some good old-fashioned New York style pizza dough. We're just gonna roll that out about as thin as we can, coat it in melted butter, some cinnamon and sugar. That's about 1/3 cup of sugar and 1 good slightly heaping teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Just mix it up real good. So that's it, just those 4 ingredients before we bake it. And then to make the frosting, I found a recipe that called for 1 cup of sifted powdered sugar, 4 ounces of cream cheese, or half a pack, and 1 stick of softened butter, softened cream cheese too. In the frosting, it also calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So let's start out by getting those rolls in the oven, and then we'll make the frosting. Here we go. Okie dokie. We've got a well-floured piece of dough on a well-floured cutting board. All right, so again, we're just gonna flatten this thing out. We're actually gonna probably bust out the rolling pin in a second here, but we'll at least get her started the old-fashioned way. Just stretch her out a little bit. All right, a little more flour. Let's welcome Mrs. Rolling Pin to the party. And we roll, and we stretch. Just see how close we can get to covering this board. We're getting there, we're making progress. Let's do another little stretch all around the edges. And by the way, if you watch my dough video, I wound up splitting this batch into 4, so we have some bigger pieces than what you see in most of my pizza videos. This, if we wanted to make a pizza, would be great for like a large 13, 14-inch size pizza, somewhere in that ballpark. Hey, now we're starting to get there. Let's do one more little flipperoo. Okay, let's go with this. Let's see what this does for us. Hopefully it does some nice cinnamon rolls. Okay, so pretty simple from here. Actually, let's get that one more good stretch. Kind of stick it to the board a little more. Maximize our real estate, so to speak. Okay, that's what we're going with. Let's start with the good old-fashioned, delicious, nutritious, melted salted butter. I think I got about 1/3 of a stick melted here. Let's see how that works out for us. Hopefully it works out like gangbusters. And of course, just about anything can be improved with a little more butter. That's universal across just about anything that calls for butter. More butter is better. You want fluffier biscuits? More butter. Better popcorn? More butter. Hopefully that holds true with winging it cinnamon rolls too. Getting there, getting there. Hey, a third of a stick worked out just about perfectly. Let's just get the rest of that in there, not too much. Oh, that's just a good buttery goodness. Okay, and now it's sprinkle time. Lots and lots of cinnamon sugar. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Oh, and let's not be too shy about it. Let's get her all on there. I think, you know, the butter rule can apply to cinnamon and sugar when you're talking cinnamon rolls, right? Maybe there is a point where too much is too much, but I don't think we've hit it yet. In fact, that's pretty well coated. We're going to go with that. Let's cut her up, roll them up, and throw them into a bake. Okie dokie. It's rolling time. At this point, we are just completely winging it. I'm just going to cut some strips. I'm going to roll up some strips. Put them in a pre-buttered pan, 9x9, I think, 9x9, 8x8, something like that. Let it rise for maybe an hour or so, and then let's bake these suckers up. So we're just going to roll. We're just going to roll. As the name cinnamon roll might suggest. That looks about right. Let's mash that down a bit and put her in the pan. I don't think we're going to wind up filling up this pan, but let's see what happens. Nice and loose. We're not going to go too crazy. And we're going to, since they're so tall, we're going to give them a little smush before we put them in there. Again, totally winging it. Don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but I think by the time it rises, it should be a-okay. Okie dokie. Set her up. Give her a nice friendly little smush. And let's get her onto the cookie sheet. Cookie pan. And we roll. You guys get the picture. Okie dokie. We got 6 cinnamon rolls out of that. So again, we are going to cover this with plastic. Let it rise for about an hour. In the meantime, we'll preheat the oven to 350. 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. We'll check, see how it's doing. It should be somewhere in that ballpark. Well, while we're waiting for those lovely cinnamon rolls to rise, let's go ahead and see about making our frosting. So again, stick of butter, softened. Hopefully it's soft enough by now. It's been on the counter for about 2.5 hours. Same with the cream cheese. That is definitely soft enough, or I hope so. So we're going to whip this stuff up and slowly mix in our powdered sugar. And then when it's all kind of looking like frosting, we'll dump in the flavorings, the vanilla and the lemon juice. Okay. Could probably be a little softer, but we're going to make it work. Let's crank up the volume, get some of that butter and stuff out of there. Come on now, get out of there. There we go. Let's crank down the volume. Do a little more mixing. All right, it seems like a good time to start some powdered sugar. Again, the recipe said sifted, so I sifted it. There we go. I hope that counts as slowly adding. I hope this is what they do at Cinnabon. I hope Mr. and Mrs. Cinnabon are proud of me. I'm really, really trying. Okay, got some butter stuff flying everywhere. Let's dump in the rest of that. It's starting to look kind of like frosting. I'm really not a frosting or a big cake guy, so it's probably the first time I've ever made any kind of frosting from scratch. But yeah, it's looking like we're about the right consistency. Let's throw in some vanilla. going to be A-OK here. Lemon juice, which I was a little surprised that this was part of the recipe, but just about I looked at about 4 different recipes, whatever the top Google results were, and they all called for the same stuff. I'm sure if you have the World Wide Web installed on your phone or whatever device you're watching this on, you can find a good Cinnabon frosting recipe too. All right, moment of truth. Let's give it a taste. Let's see how that frosting turned out. That tastes just like Cinnabon. Let that rise for about an hour and 15 minutes, and we're going to throw it in the oven and see if that works. What do you think, Wagner? Good idea? Okay. Here we go. Okay, we checked at 15. It looked like it needed a few more minutes, so I let it go a full 20 minutes at 350, and hey, we're getting there. Let's give that maybe just another minute or two, but I think we're pretty close. Let's go 3 minutes and see what happens there. We'll see you back then. Okay, that's been another 3 minutes. I think that's going to do it. Let's pull her out. Let it sit for a little while, let it cool down before we throw that frosting on there, but, oh, don't they look darling the way they puffed up there. Okay, we'll come back to Frosting Town in a few minutes. Oh, hi, special guy. Don't you look delightful? And hello there, pizza, nay, breakfast pastry enthusiasts. Let's put some frosting on this guy. And give it a whirl. Let's see. Is my memory still okay from like 25 years ago? Can you make a decent cinnamon roll with pizza dough? Let's find out. That is not bad. I'm not even huge on cinnamon rolls, but that's not too shabby. You know, we're going to stay on this breakfast routine. I've got a LinkedIn buddy that's huge into breakfast burritos, so we're going to do the burrito's Italian cousin and go for a breakfast calzone pretty soon. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like what you saw today, and have a Jim Dandy breakfast. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.